What does legacy mean to you?
Yes. Legacy is life contribution beyond the life that you live.
Legacy is critical to survival.
Legacy means the transfer of accomplishments, achievements from one generation to another.
Legacy for me means standing on something.
Taking all that hard work that our ancestors did and building on that.
Legacy to me means life after.
What's left behind when you're no longer physically here?
You don't see the seed in the ground, but you water it every day. Sun hits it.
Even though I will never bear the fruit of the foundation that we are building, I want it to start with me. I want it to start with us.
I got the key, you can't hold me. My destiny is unfolding. One thing I know is I gotta stay focused. Ooh, I'm cold like that. It's a double shot of tea, baby, cause I'm bold like that. I'm in too deep, expose the facts. History repeats, but we ain't going back. No, we ain't going back.
Tulsa has historically tried to ignore its past, tried to ignore the 1921 race massacre. There was a mass slaughter of black folks. Hundreds of homes and businesses were burnt to the ground. This, at that time, was the only place in the United States that had ever been bombed from the air.
The African-American community across the country is being assailed and attacked. Mob violence, lynchings, the urban riots, all of this was part and parcel of a very, very terrible period in African-American history.
It was a domestic terrorist attack because of the jealousy of the prosperity within the black community. The people who lived here were upper middle class people.
Greenwood, if one doesn't know, is better known as Black Wall Street. It was a black majority of people who owned businesses. They had churches, restaurants, everything you could think of.
The spirit to me of Black Wall Street, I can't tell you. It's just a place that you have to visit to understand it. I saw the fires, the riots. I couldn't believe all that happened in Tulsa. And our young people, they need to know what Wall Street means. We need to know what Wall Street means. So that way, that's not stuff that's repeated.
As we approach the centennial commemoration of the 1921 race massacre, all one would need to do is to look at the news and look at the comments, the public comments, to see what the racial tensions are. Everything we try to implement that will improve the quality of life for African Americans in this city is met with a fight. One of the things I say constantly is we've had to fight for everything we've received since we got off the boat, and that has not changed.
I keep hearing about the word reconciliation, and I'm like, wait a minute, that means restoring friendly relations, which presupposes that we've created them. And I don't know a point in our history when we've ever done it. There is no racial reconciliation in the context of Tulsa. It's an oxymoron.
The city overall often feels like it's in a state of denial. We're not in a place where anyone wants to admit responsibility for the disparities that continue to happen today. I think of Black Wall Street as critical to survival and critical to our ability to thrive. The most disturbing thing about moving through the postcards and the pictures was this feeling that history is repeating itself, and that's kind of the elephant in the room that no one wants to name. The community still feels like it's on fire, and so what then am I responsible to do now, knowing what I know, seeing what I have seen? What is my responsibility in terms of how I move throughout the world? So one of the things I really want to do out here, I know we have this beautiful window space, is potentially get permits to do a little outside seating here, so when the weather's nice, people can kind of sit inside, sit outside, have a little patio deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
And then we got part of the ceiling up on this side.
This is nice.
I know. I grew up in foster care, and there was a time in my life where I didn't know anyone who had known me before the age of 9. And that felt really isolating, and it felt like the idea of home was elusive and that I would never have that feeling. I reconnected with my biological family, and I go to this house, and I walk in, and my great Aunt Daisy embraces me, and she starts telling me the story of, you know, me being a baby in that house. And for the first time, I had this feeling of home. And so the house was on Fulton Street. To me, Fulton Street became a symbol of home. It was my last year of teaching. I knew I wasn't returning to the classroom, and I started actually writing down what would it mean to have a bookstore. And then right here, what we'll do is put like a few inch wood platform. So when we're having programming, you got speakers, you got your poets, you got your artists right here. I want people to walk into this space and feel a little bit of that feeling. This feels like home to me.
It's really good. I mean, it's impressive.
Thank you.
It's gonna be awesome. Are you gonna have a heater in here?
Yes, I'm gonna have a heater in here.
Or is it gonna be a summer business? You said you want people to feel like, oh wow, this place was created with me in mind.
Yes. I think people are going to come to this space even though they don't live in the Heights because it's a space for them. So knowing that we have combined enough student loan debt to buy a couple houses, how do you feel about us now adding this additional business loan?
It's almost crazy that it's easier to get student loans than it is to get, loans to start a business.
If it was as easy to get this business loan as it was to get a student loan, this business would already be open. I don't have parents who are financing my business. So what it means for me is potentially putting my house on the line. What it means for me is irreparable credit damage. So the consequences are higher.
I think we're betting on ourselves, betting on you. And if we have a viable business plan and business idea, something that we know can produce returns, then I think it's a good bet. So, betting on you. So don't let us down.
I am who I am because I'm running away from something. I don't want to be like my mom. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to, it's more of the things that I don't want to be that often drive me. And so when you talk about masks, that is the mask that I wear, trying to look like who I aspire to be and not who I feel like on the daily.
There's this economic trickle-down effect. And when you mention smaller towns like Tulsa, the dollar goes so far in those smaller towns that allows for economic stability, that actually goes to financial wellness.
Cooperative economics has always been quite prevalent. Because of the nature of oppression and discrimination, African-American people cannot fully participate in the American society, so they have to build their own.
When it comes to building your confidence and just success around money, there's 3 things that I found that are most helpful. First is knowledge. The second thing is access. And the third is community. Community provides encouragement. Community provides normalization of the struggle. And community also provides this sense of you're able to do so and that other people are going through what you're going through as well.
Can I please have your attention for just a moment?
We've assembled here this evening to actually show love to Onikah. She's decided to invest in our community, to give back, to focus on literacy. We're lucky. So I want to say thank you, Onikah, for having the fortitude to step out on faith, to pursue your dreams and passions.
Thank you for being here. It feels good to be around family, y'all. And that's what Fulton Street is supposed to be. It's a space for us to have conversation, to have dialogue in the way that we naturally would. It's a space to build community. It's a space to build relationship. And so I am so excited that I have the privilege to build that here in Tulsa with each and every one of you. As much as I own this, we own this. And so thank you, thank you, thank you to every single person in this room. I could not do this without you.
Yes, yes. Let's have a toast to Onikah, the dream of our ancestors. Salute!
Money makes me feel good.
Secure.
Confidence.
Reassurance.
Power.
If I don't have no money, I'm tight. I'm upset. Straight up.
It's not just something you just ball out with.
Right.
You know, though I would like to ball sometimes.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not a ball sometimes.